Hi, I'm Valerie Barnhart, and I'm the director of Girl in the Hallway, which won an award at this festival last year. So I'm glad to be back as an alumni, and I am introducing Danski Tang, director of Umbilical.
Hi everyone, I'm Danski. I'm the director of Umbilical, and my film is in the official selection this year, and it's gonna be playing this film festival.
I love animated documentary. It is such an interesting form of nonfiction narrative. So I was excited to get your film Umbilical, so as an animated documentary. So there's a relationship in documentary between like where the subject um, when it becomes animated, there's that separation between the subject and the audience because it's not a like photograph talking head interview with somebody, and so it's nice you get this security where your subject can be more anonymous, where the story becomes bigger than them as a persona, and it creates a different dynamics with the audience. And I just wanted to know how you use that as an advantage in as a director for this story when you came to use animated documentary for this.
Okay, I guess from a technical term, at the beginning, I started from I started from doing animation. So I love animation. I just want to do animation all the time. At the same time, I really care about subjects rather than just making an animation look cool. So that's why I think my work mostly are animated kind of a lot of colors and imagination, but the subject is always something that's more realistic, that's related to me, my own experience. And then I think animated documentary is really a really interesting um, approach because you kind of invite the audience to put themselves in it because the image and the subject has a really large space in between. You kind of have to imagine what it is rather than looking at an image that's illustrating the subject. Yeah, I want something that's more experimental and engaging for the audience to put themselves in it and think.
So it's because that segues into another question I had for you, because your animated characters of the mother and daughter are faceless,
Yeah.
and as a form of portraiture, and where they can be interchangeable in the story. I found as an audience member watching, and is that why you made them faceless as a portrait?
Yeah, yes. At the beginning, the starting point was I have this story of myself that I really want to make a film about, and at the same time, my mom's experience I also want to put in the film, and so we kind of have this parallel experience at the same period of the time. Yeah. So, but the problem is how do I combine them together? Put two storylines into one, and then show the connection. And but with animation, it's a really good tool to do so because when you hear something and you see something, you kind of make the connection between the audio and the visual. And I thought that was an interesting place to play at. Yeah.
Yeah, there was so much intimacy between the figures and how they were interacting with each other. There was so much intimacy. And the intimacy in that conversation with your mom, that's what I wanted to get at, because that's something documentarians dream of, to get that level of frankness from somebody. So, did your mother know when you were recording this conversation you had the intent of making a movie, and or was this a candid conversation you just happened to have recorded?
She knows. The thing was at the beginning, like when I lived with her when I was younger, she kept talking about her relationship with my dad to me, and I never really, I just thought it's annoying, and so I that's why I like always try to get away from home as far as I can, and so basically now I'm in a different country. I don't see her often. It gives me a lot of time to reflect on what happened before, and why the way I am right now. And it's interesting how I try to run away all my life, and now I am really far away, and I just really want to go back to the past to revisit. And so she does know, and so she's very supportive. She basically just, if whatever you want me to do, just do it. And she didn't ask much. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Um, and then there was a lot of parallels of abuse between the abuse that your mother experienced and the abuse that you had at the hands of bullies, and with cycles of abuse, there's a lot of silence in the violence of silence in living these experiences. And how long did it take? Was this the first time you guys were breaking that silence in the conversation, or is this something you're more comfortable talking about now and have a vocabulary to discuss these sensitive topics like of abuse, abortion, sexuality, things that like would be taboo for a lot of people to talk about so frankly?
Mhm. Absolutely. Yes, I think at there's right before after I become an adult, I like when I was 27 or something, my mom suddenly told me that she had a few abortion, but I always I had no idea. I did never know, and it's kind of struck me. So starting to think that whoa, uh, even though she's my mom, but we're just basically two women, and I'm grown up, and I should be able to have conversation with her like friends. We don't need to have the she doesn't have to be this authoritative figure. We can just be friends so that I can understand her and she can also understand me. Yeah. Um, so that's why I really want to do that. I really want to talk to her about things.
Okay. In your work in general, do you just deal with personal narratives, or are you have plans to branch out to animate other people's stories with documentary?
Mm-hmm. Um, I actually, a lot of my, only this one is about myself and my mom. But other ones, most of the film I do is I use other people's story that relates to me. I have, my previous film is about my friend's experience being a life drawing model in Canada, which I thought it was really interesting. So I made a film about it. It's not necessarily my story, but I feel like it speaks to me. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. What are you working on now?
Um, Again, a friend's story. She lives in a Muslim country, and so but she's lesbian, and so it's really difficult to have the social pressures to have to get married and just being gay. Um, and I thought it was interesting, and I'm trying to work on that, but it's slow because pandemic.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Fair enough. Fair enough. Those are the questions I prepared for you, so I don't have any more.
Mhm.
Is there anything you thought was, since you were talking about, there's so many important things, like weighted things in your film to unpack. Like we can talk about the one child policy, how that impacted. You can talk about violence against women, bullying, sexuality. Is there any take-home messages that you think is really important you want to share in regards to your film?
Mm, um, Whoa, this is kind of difficult.
Yeah, there's so many to pick, right? So it's like,
I think I do would like to. I guess in the future, I do want to go deeper with each subject instead of in one film. There are a few subjects in one film. You know what I mean? In a 7 minutes film, I kind of want to focus on each subject later on in my practice.
okay.
Yeah. Um, and continue doing animated documentary.
Oh, that's so cool.
I would like. I want to. Do you also do animation? Or
Yeah, yeah. I did an animated documentary.
okay, okay. Oh, no, I want to see your
Yeah.
film.
Girl in the Hallway. It's on Vimeo.
Oh wait, I feel like I heard about it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It's done very well for itself.
Okay, I want to see.
Yeah, yeah. I can send you in the email. I'll send you the URL for it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, I ended up winning. I think it was the best short animation at this festival last year.
congratulations.
And yeah, thanks.
Oh,
So yeah, so I hear you. I hear you. Like taking someone's confession and creating a psychological space
mhm.
with animation. It's very liberating as documentarian to be in animation.
What are you working on? Are you?
Right now I'm working on a comedy. So out of the documentary space, but I'm with NFB right now, and just loving a professional production, union rates and crew.
You're working with a team now.
Yeah,
Oh, is
yeah.
it? Do you always work on your own, or do you always have a team?
Well, Girl in the Hallway was my only film.
Oh, okay, okay,
So it was my first film, and so I did that completely by myself.
okay.
And so this time I'm working with a team. So this is really quite something, like a producer, and I have to go and make them happy.
How was it? Do you hate it? I'm kind of worried. Like, I do want a producer sometimes, but I'm also like, oh, I don't know if I can work with people with so many people. You know?
It's been interesting. Like in the end, with because I've been working with creative producers. So when I'm working with a creative producer, like they're more like an editor. They're like on your team. So they don't let you get away with stuff. They'll be like, no, 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 this thing over here, that's problematic. Or so they just sort of look through your blind spots, and then you have debates about whether or not that's a good option or not. So there's a lot of back and forth, and then there's a lot of waiting. So because you have to wait for everybody to like the consensus to like get their opinions and get back to you. So there's like a lot of downtime, so that 2 weeks that you're working on something else completely,
Oh,
and then you stack your projects as
right.
you're just dealing with these, like an editor.
Right.
That's sort of what it is like.
Do you like it?
um yes and no.
Okay.
Yeah, like there's pros and cons. Like there's pros and cons. Like before it had to make me happy. I'm hard to make happy. So like that was fine. But now it's like, you have something you're happy with, and then they're like, nope, and you're like, really? Really? This I'm happy with this.
Yeah, I'm also just thinking what I should do next after this film. It's kind of I'm a little scared sometimes because I was at school before, but now I'm alone and just still trying to continue making film, and just kind of suddenly I don't know what kind of support I can get
Honestly, COVID is a monkey wrench, but there's this really great book I read called like Festival Targeting,
now.
and it will tell you how to use the festival to your advantage. That's
Mhm.
how I was able to get like an NFB production, and like get a budget, and like producers, and like get a paycheck and distribution, and like
Yeah,
all of all of that.
festival life.
Yes, yes. Hold on. I tell everyone it's the best $20 you'll ever spend. Oh my God. Let me just get it off my bookshelf for you. This book.
Film festival, film festival, film festival pass.
Yeah. The Complete Filmmaker's Guide to Film Festivals.
Oh,
Your all access pass to launching your film on the festival circuit.
I feel like I'm so not good at those things. I need to be better at those.
Best $20 ever, man. Thank you so much, Danski, for answering our questions, and please check out her great film.
Thank you for having me, and it's a cool conversation. Thank you.